How many times have you been to an audio forum or somebody's asking a mixing or mastering or any kind of question regarding sound, and the answer has just been, use your ears. Does it sound good? Use your ears, bro. This video has put that to the test for me like none other, and we'll talk about it. Yeah, cool. So because I was put to the test through this entire process, I want to put you to the test. Here's a quick sound example of a session I just had with a vocalist. One of the mics that you will be hearing is around a $3,800 mic. The other, $280 mic. Let's take a listen.
I've been rodeoing, it's been rough. I make ends meet doing cowboy stuff. Trying to leave this life behind. Now I'm down to my last dime. Real cowgirls and buckle bunnies. I take one home, yeah, it might be funny. Real rank bulls and real bright lights. I'm just trying to pull my check tonight. We're talking rodeo stuff.
Clearly, we've got some things to talk about. Now, I don't want to leave you hanging the whole time, so I'm going to play that again, but this time we're going to show you which is which.
I've been rodeoing, it's been rough. I make ends meet doing cowboy stuff. Trying to leave this life behind. Now I'm down to my last dime. Real cowgirls and buckle bunnies. I take one home, yeah, it might be funny. Real rank bulls and real bright lights. I'm just trying to pull my check tonight. We're talking rodeo stuff.
So this is a good time to say that this is sponsored by Sweetwater, and they sent me this mic to try out. One of my struggles here is this. Clearly, this is designed after one of the most famous mics in all of history. This guy. I mean, if there ever was beauty in a microphone, it's this. It's minimal. It's just gorgeous. I love this microphone. This is kind of like the remnants of it with your gamer friends. RGB added to it. Has an XLR output. You can use it like any other mic. Has a USB-C output. It could essentially be everything. Your entire studio. So I tried this out as a mic. Bass cabs, drums, vocals. We've already played the vocals, so here it is on bass cab. So I've tried this mic on a whole lot of different sources, and frankly, it's been useful everywhere I've put it. I can't get over the price point of being around $280, and then there's a whole other side of this where it can be an interface, a headphone amp, your microphone, your one-stop shop for the audio side of content creation. So I brought my wife back to the channel, who you guys keep asking for, and this is actually perfect for her. She has her own side hustle where she's constantly making more and more content because she doesn't know the ins and outs of audio, and frankly, coming here every time she wants to do a reel on her phone isn't really feasible. So for her, this is perfect. Welcome back.
Hi.
You know how many times people ask for you?
How many?
Oh, well, I haven't counted. I was asking. You are more popular on this channel than I am.
As I should be.
So, I thought this was the perfect one to bring you back for.
Okay.
Because you have a new thing you're doing, kind of. And that involves also kind of creating content.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect thing for someone like you.
Okay.
Because you're kind of familiar with what I do.
A little bit.
Run a recording studio. Very cool. I mean, could you go in there and if I was like record your voice, could you do it?
Not without it being set up, no.
What if I could give you something that sounded pretty decent, could hang with some of the mics that I've got here, but it was as easy as like plugging it into a computer or an iPad?
Ooh, yeah, that'd be nice.
You could be making voiceovers for your own content.
Okay.
Pretty easily.
Okay.
This is this is the Shure sm7. Nope, that's wrong. M7 Plus. They had an M7. Now it has a USB-C attachment. As far as I know, that's the only difference. But $279.
Okay.
That's a killer mug, by the way.
Well, yeah, sponsored by Beats.
It's not sponsored by but this video is sponsored by Sweetwater and Shure.
Sure.
What you've seen me set up normally when I have a microphone, there's a lot involved, right? Microphone, preamp, compressor, probably if we're doing like pro voiceover stuff, and then any amount of other things. And the idea with this thing is, this is it. This is all you need. Single USB-C cord coming out into the computer here. And it also, which I'll show you in a minute, works with either your phone or an iPad.
Oh, cool.
If you wonder why the other cables are plugged in, it's just headphones so we can hear it back. Let's switch over here. Grab your headphones.
Okay.
There's no built-in shock mount with this thing. That's kind of annoying me. The other thing that kind of annoys me is the bright light on top. Look at this.
The green.
Yeah, well, and you can change the color. Oh, I muted it. There.
It has touchability.
So when it turns red, boom, muted. So this whole thing comes with an app. The cool thing about this that I found when I was setting it up, if you set it up once, you can plug it into any device and it remembers what its last settings were. So if you figure out something that works with your voice, you could plug it into the computer, you could plug it into our iPad, you could plug it into your phone. The microphone is remembering the previous settings that were used on
Oh,
it.
that's cool.
So you could take it with you anywhere and basically you have the exact same sound that you had set up. And sometimes consistency is what matters more with stuff like that. So for you, this would be perfect for you doing reels and explaining kind of what you're doing. And for those of you who don't know, give us an idea of what you're doing.
So one of the biggest things that I've been doing lately is kind of taking a hobby and turning it into a little side gig. So for years, I have decorated sugar cookies with my mother-in-law. It was always a fun family favorite thing to do at Christmas time. I kind of was like, I really like doing this and I think I might make a go of it. And honestly, one of the biggest things that I've done is had classes or instructional reels where people can kind of watch what I'm doing. It's kind of taking off as its own little thing. So I'm making more and more videos on what I'm doing. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Having a good time with it.
Yes.
So having ability to put some kind of vocal on there would be perfect for you.
Absolutely.
So let's slide this thing in front of you. So I've got the computer here. We're taking a screen cap of the computer so you can see what we're doing. But this is basically going to be instructing you and using kind of the ease of this software to figure out how you can basically get a solid setup. When you come into the software, you have like all the different sources you could possibly have on your computer, your phone, whatever. I have a lot because this computer's been hooked up to a lot of different things. We have the Shure MV7 Plus, we pull that over, and if we hit the little gear, now we can adjust the microphone.
Okay.
One of the things that you'll notice right off the bat, I have turned off because I thought it was annoying, was the auto level gain. If I can turn that on, now you can talk.
Yes, I can talk into the microphone over and over.
And it's gonna adjust automatically.
What's gain?
The volume of the mic. So basically, I'm the one with inside jokes.
I hear gain used all the time, but I have no idea what it means.
Okay, gain is basically the level of the mic that we're putting into a circuit.
Okay.
So how loud it's coming into a preamp typically, or I guess out, depending on how you're going to define it.
Okay.
But this is basically auto level on the gain. So it's thinking about all of these things on its own. When you do that, you don't get the option for compression. What I would like to do, I kind of normally have it set up out here. Now talk into it.
Okay. Ooh. So you explained gain, but putting compression on it sounds louder to me.
So this is a heavy compression. So if it's off,
Okay, so you had heavy compression and now you do not. And the heavy compression made it louder.
it's making the soft things louder and the loud things quieter. It's basically taking the dynamic range of your voice and squishing it into this so that it can move the whole thing up in volume. So you could also have like light compression. So talk into it like this.
Okay, I can talk into it like this. It sounds very ASMR in my headphones.
Now this is heavy.
Heavy is louder.
Yeah. So you can definitely tell the differences. So for you, like auto level may be perfect. What were you doing today with your cookies?
Okay, so today was really exciting. I tried out a new icing recipe because the one I had was creating some interesting challenges. So tried a whole new recipe, tried a whole new icing technique. It was really, really exciting, and I was able to document the entire thing. And so it would be kind of fun to talk about. I don't know what happened. What'd you do?
So there's a real-time denoiser built into this thing. And let's be quiet for a second. Now if I turn this denoiser off, I just stuttered. I'm gonna turn the denoiser off and listen to the HVAC that pops in. Hear the hiss?
So it's taking that out?
It is. So get close to the mic as if you're doing a voiceover. Talk about your icing.
My new icing, it's really exciting. There's a lot of, baker terms like high peaks and stiffness, flood, detail, all those different things about icing that you would never know unless you're trying to decorate a cookie.
I'm actually pretty impressed here. When I first got this thing, I thought it was pretty gimmicky, if I'm being totally real. Let me show you why. So I've used Shure microphones for a long, long time. This obviously has a lineage. I don't know if it's directly built after this other particular microphone. We're using it USB-C now, basically as an interface, a headphone amp, the recording, the mic, the whole bit, but you can also just use it as a mic. And right there, it's kind of more in my world, right? This side of it, I don't really use a whole lot, but I see its application and I could give a mic to somebody and they could record demos at home, and that's pretty cool. Using it as a mic gets a little interesting and actually sounded really good. My problem with it is I hate the way it looks. This is the Shure sm7b. This thing's a legend. I think it's one of the most beautiful mics. It's like simple, it's industrial. I just think it's gorgeous.
How is it that different?
It's different though.
Sir.
There's okay, you clearly see it's designed after it. You know my whole thing with shirts. What do I not like on my shirts?
Logos.
Right. What's the first thing you see on this mic? It's plastered everywhere.
It's as much as that one? Oh, okay.
Really.
I see.
Not really.
I wouldn't call that plastered.
If this thing is built to be on screen, there is no hiding what it is.
Yeah, but maybe Shure is just taking advantage of the fact that there's YouTubers out there and they could get their name a little bigger.
I think that's the turnoff. This is me being very nitpicky.
Very.
There's a cool factor here. Immediately recognizable. And this is like, it's trying to be that, but it's not that. Let me show you the other thing. So you take this off. Yeah, cool, right?
Cool.
Cool. Let's take this one off. I get it. This is where I'm being super nitpicky. And I started the entire video. This whole industry, we're told to use our ears, not our eyes.
All right.
This has been practice for me. But honestly, I put it up against like a mic where you could buy 13 of these.
Yeah.
Sounded good.
Okay. The logo doesn't bother me, but I guess
It's also
I get it.
the RGB thing, like, because we can change the LED
RGB?
here. Weird stripe here. So we can put it on a solid color. I can make it max bright.
Yeah, make it solid.
There you go. Look at that. Nice and green. Oh, you want to change the color? Okay, how about red?
Okay.
Why isn't it changing? Oh, save. Red. There you go. It's red. So we've made a lot of changes on this computer.
Uh-huh.
Here's the interesting part for me. I'm going to unplug it from the computer. We are going to plug it in to the iPad. We're back. It brought everything back. And like it remembered all of the settings, which I think is cool. So like I could set this up for you, or you could set this up whenever you had a chance. And it's the same regardless of what device you plug it into.
So do you mean you've done it on the iPad previously and did settings?
We set it up over here. We put it on auto level, and I put it on the 75 hertz low, and it just did it. So whatever device you plug it into, it's gonna remember
Whatever its default settings were.
So if you're on the road, you're making a reel on your phone, you want to do content, or you want to stream something, or you want to make a video call and sound like you sound, like it's gonna be the same.
Oh, that's really cool.
So do you have a reel, like just for example's sake, even one that you've done before, pull it up and just watch it? The idea being like you would build this reel, go back and watch it, and then you could do your voiceover as you're watching it, explaining it, lay over the finished product on top of it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hit record here. I'm recording.
So the first thing I always do is roll out my dough. We're gonna bake the cookies and make the icing, and then we get to the fun part. We start decorating Woody's boot. And so it's really fun to see it all fill in. I learned a new technique, which was how to make wood grain. Super fun. This one shows how you can use an edible food marker to draw your design and then go over it. So this was another fun one. And then I kept finishing the wood blocks. The wood blocks, letter blocks, were probably my favorite thing in the Toy Story cookies. And then it shows one of each letter, shows how we do that. And then I showed how we make even a color on a color look good once you let one layer dry. And then another thing with the edible food marker, this moves pretty fast. But this is fun to show the details on how to make character specific things without having to do faces, because faces are very difficult. So we just made the outfits, which was awesome. Still super fun because it's very iconic, and then shows a lot of my finished product. Then we move on to the Etch-a-Sketch. The Etch-a-Sketch was probably my favorite and one of the most exciting at the party. And then it gives a really nice overview of what the cookies look like together as a collection. And it was super fun to create. Yay.
So obviously that was awkward because you've never done a voiceover on anything before. I'm just kind of taken back by what's possible with a $280 microphone. You get the software, you get the mic, like you could build an entire like social site of your business with $280. Could you imagine doing that? What do you think of the sound? I'm just curious. Like,
I think it sounds good. It was kind of interesting to hear the difference in the sound if I'm being really intentional and being right up on it, or if I'm just kind of around, like you got to really be right there. So now, just from a technical standpoint, Miss I don't know all the technology would need to learn how to add that audio to a reel.
just export it as a sound and import it on top of your reel, just like you would any other song.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Pretty cool little $280 microphone here.
Yeah, and it's nice because this is something that somebody that's just kind of doing their own thing at home or creating their own content could easily get a hold of, take with them where they're going, feel professional, sound professional, without having to come to an entire studio.
Yeah, I would recommend putting it on some kind of a shock mount, though. Some kind of rubberized thing below your stand, because you hear everything here. Oh, you'll probably appreciate this.
Okay. Oh.
So you asked if it was good for singing.
Ooh. Definitely for a singer, it's always better when it sounds like you're in a room and you're not locked into your ears.
The thing I don't like is I can't adjust that reverb.
Like you can't make it small room, large room.
That's a smaller room, but it's still like, there's like 4 seconds on here.
That definitely does it right there.
Just making it quieter. Reverb's not great, but you know what?
But it's still fun. It gives you something.
It's there, and you could either put it on output or just monitor it. So if you just want to hear reverb while you sing, you can, and it's not going to get recorded. That's pretty cool. But as far as simplifying a whole process...
Oh, for sure. This is really good for the at-home that wants to sound great, that doesn't want to go to an entire studio. This is pretty great.
Awesome. Put me out of a job.
Whoa, I didn't mean that! Okay, guys, well... Thanks for enjoying this session of The Recording Studio Loser and the Wife, and we will be happy to see you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe, push the notification bell, and I might see you in, a few months. Have a good one. Bye.